Get out of my house. Patricia stood in my doorway, the one I'd walked through every day for 6 years, wearing my apron, the blue one with white flowers, the one Daniel bought me for Christmas 3 years ago. It's not your house anymore, dear. Her smile was thin, sharp, victorious. Daniel's dead, and without a will, this property reverts to blood family. That's us, not you. I stared at her. At this woman I'd spent 6 years trying to please. 6 years of polite smiles through her insults. 6 years of, you married down and she's not good enough, and our son deserves better. Behind her, I saw Richard, her husband, Daniel's father, carrying boxes into my living room. Our living room, the room where Daniel proposed, where we celebrated anniversaries, where he died in my arms 3 days ago. 3 fucking days, and they'd already changed the locks. You have 2 hours to collect your personal items, Patricia continued. Calm, professional, like she was firing an employee, not evicting her dead son's widow. We'll pack the rest. Leave it on the porch by morning. Don't make this difficult. My wedding photos sat in a trash bag by the door. I could see them, Daniel and me, smiling, happy, in love, thrown away like garbage. This is my home, I said quietly. This was Daniel's home. He bought it before you met. His name is on the deed. You're just the woman who lived here. And now that he's gone, she shrugged. You need to leave. Jessica, Daniel's sister, appeared behind Patricia, wearing my necklace, the diamond pendant Daniel gave me on our 5th anniversary. Just wearing it, like it was hers. That's mine, I said. It was Daniel's. Now it's family property. Jessica smiled, same thin, cruel smile as her mother. Everything in this house is family property. You're not family, Amanda. You're just the wife. Past tense. I could have screamed, could have called the police, could have fought them right there. But I didn't, because even through the grief, through the rage, through the absolute shock of what was happening, one thought kept repeating in my head. Daniel knew. He knew they'd do this. He told me they would. 3 years ago, right after his cancer diagnosis, he'd sat me down, held my hands, said words I didn't understand at the time. Amanda, if I die, my family will come for you. They'll try to take everything. They'll say you have no rights. They'll erase you like you never existed. I need to protect you from that. Will you trust me? I'd said yes. Signed papers I didn't read. Let him handle the legal stuff. Because I trusted him. Because I thought we had time. Because I never actually believed he'd die. But he did die. And they did come for me. Exactly like he predicted. And Daniel had prepared for it. I just needed to remember what he'd done. I looked at Patricia, at her smug, certain face, at her absolute confidence that she'd won, and I smiled. I'll collect my things, Patricia. You're right. No point making this difficult. Her eyebrows raised, surprised. She'd expected a fight, tears, begging. How gracious of you. Take your time settling in, I said. Make yourselves comfortable, redecorate, whatever you want. We intend to. She stepped aside. Let me into my own house, my own home, for what she thought was the last time. I walked past her, past Richard unpacking in the living room, past Jessica trying on my jewelry, went upstairs to the bedroom. Our bedroom, where Daniel and I had slept for 6 years, where he died 72 hours ago. Patricia had already stripped the bed, put new sheets on, erased us. I grabbed clothes, toiletries, laptop, wedding ring still on my finger. They hadn't tried to take that yet. Photos from the nightstand, 20 minutes. I packed what I could carry, left everything else. Walked downstairs. Patricia was in the kitchen, making coffee. My coffee maker, my kitchen, my home. All done? She asked sweetly. For now. Good. We'll have the rest boxed up by tomorrow. You can collect it from the porch. Thank you, Patricia. You're so generous. She didn't catch the sarcasm. Too confident, too certain she'd won. I walked out, got in my car, drove away. And as I drove, I made a phone call. Maya, it's Amanda. I need a place to stay, and I need you to help me remember something. Something Daniel set up 3 years ago. Something about protecting me from his family. What happened? They evicted me, changed the locks, threw me out of my own house. Those motherfuckers. Yeah, but Maya, Daniel prepared for this. I know he did. He made me sign papers, created some kind of legal protection. I just need to remember what it was. Where are the papers? In the house, Daniel's office, filing cabinet, folder labeled Important Amanda. I need to get back in to get them. The house they just locked you out of? Yeah, fuck. I know. Silence. Then, when's the funeral? Tomorrow, 11 a.m. Will they be there? Patricia's organizing it. She'll definitely be there. Richard and Jessica, too. So the house will be empty during the funeral. Probably. Do you still have your key? They changed the locks. Shit. Okay, different plan after the funeral. When they let you back in to collect your things, you get those papers. Whatever it takes, you get that folder. And then we fight. Legally, properly, we destroy them. I hung up, drove to Maya's, my sister's apartment, small, cramped, but safe. Hers. Tell me everything, she said when I arrived. I did, the eviction, Patricia's cruelty, the wedding photos in the trash, Jessica wearing my necklace, Richard moving into my living room like he owned it. And Daniel prepared for this? He said he did, 3 years ago, right after the diagnosis. He said, they'll try to take everything. I need to protect you. Made me sign papers. I don't remember what they were. I trusted him to handle it. You didn't read them? I was dealing with his cancer, chemotherapy, hospital visits, watching him die. Reading legal documents wasn't my priority. Fair. So tomorrow. Funeral. Then you get back into that house, get those papers, and we figure out what Daniel did. What if he didn't do anything? What if I'm remembering wrong? What if... Amanda, Daniel loved you more than his own family, more than anything. If he said he protected you, he protected you. Trust that. Trust him. I wanted to. God, I wanted to. But Patricia had seemed so certain, so confident, like she'd already checked, already confirmed I had no rights, no claim, no power. If you're enjoying this story, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Trust me, you'll want to see how this ends. The funeral was a nightmare. Patricia had planned everything without asking me, without consulting me, without acknowledging I was his wife. The service was at her church, not ours. Reading she chose, music she picked, eulogy she wrote. I sat in the front row, widow's privilege, but Patricia spoke like I wasn't there. Daniel was a devoted son, a loving brother, a cherished member of our family. He'll be deeply missed by those who truly knew him, those who loved him from birth, those whose blood he shared. Blood, she kept emphasizing blood. Blood family, blood relations, blood ties, not marriage, not love, not choice. Blood. People came up to me after, offered condolences, hugged me, said kind things. Patricia intercepted most of them. Thank you for coming. Daniel appreciated your friendship. The family appreciates your support. The family, not me. The family, like I wasn't part of it. I watched her perform grief, watched her accept sympathy, watched her play devastated mother, and I thought, you changed the locks 24 hours after he died. You threw away our wedding photos. You're wearing his death like a costume for attention. The reception was at the house, my house, the one she'd stolen. I had to go, had to maintain appearances, had to wait for my opportunity. Patricia had redecorated. Already, in 3 days, she'd removed our photos, replaced our furniture, erased us completely. It needed updating, she told a guest. Daniel's tastes were always a bit pedestrian. We're elevating the space. Pedestrian. Our home, our choices, our life together. Pedestrian. I smiled, nodded, played grieving widow, and I waited. 2 hours into the reception, I slipped away. Upstairs to Daniel's office, the door was locked. Of course it was, but I knew where he kept the spare key. Taped under the hallway smoke detector. Hidden. Secret. Ours. I unlocked the door, stepped inside. His office looked the same. Patricia hadn't touched it yet. Too focused on common spaces. Too focused on performing for guests. I went to the filing cabinet. Second drawer. Folder labeled, Important Amanda. There it was, right where he said it would be. I pulled it out. Thick. Heavy. Full of documents. Legal papers, official seals, notarized signatures. The first page was a letter, handwritten. Daniel's handwriting. Amanda, if you're reading this, I'm dead. And my family has probably already tried to take everything from you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm not there to stop them. I'm sorry you have to fight this battle alone. But you're not alone. I prepared for this. I created protection, legal, unbreakable protection. 3 years ago, right after my diagnosis, I created a living trust. The Daniel Walsh Living Trust. I transferred everything into it. The house, the accounts, the retirement funds, the stocks, everything. And I made you the sole beneficiary. Not my parents, not Jessica, you. The trust is irrevocable. They can't contest it, can't challenge it, can't break it. The house isn't in my name anymore. It's in the trust's name. And you own the trust. They're trespassing. They're stealing. They're committing fraud. And you have the power to stop them. All the documents are in this folder. Trust papers, transfer deeds, account transfers, everything you need. Take this to a lawyer, Jennifer Chen. Her card is in this folder. She helped me set this up. She knows everything. She'll help you. Fight them, Amanda. Fight for what's yours. Fight for us. Fight for the life we built together. I love you. I've always loved you. And even in death, I'm protecting you, Daniel. I read it 3 times, hands shaking, tears streaming down my face. He'd done it. He'd actually done it. Protected me. Completely, perfectly. The house was mine, the accounts were mine, everything was mine, and Patricia had just committed multiple felonies by changing the locks and moving in without permission. I heard footsteps. The office door opened. Patricia stood there. What are you doing in here? I looked at her. At this woman who'd tormented me for 6 years, who'd evicted me from my own home, who'd thrown away my wedding photos, who'd tried to erase me. And I smiled, reading Daniel's letter. What letter? The one where he explains that he transferred everything into an irrevocable trust 3 years ago, with me as the sole beneficiary. Her face changed, color draining, eyes widening, smile disappearing. That's not possible. It's very possible. It's documented, notarized, legal, and you're currently trespassing on trust property. You're lying. I held up the papers. Read them yourself. She grabbed them, hands shaking, read the first page, the second, the third. I watched her realize, watched understanding hit, watched her entire world collapse. This can't be real. It's real. Daniel knew you'd do this, knew you'd try to steal everything, so he protected me 3 years ago, before you ever had the chance. We'll contest it. We'll fight. You'll lose. It's irrevocable, and you've already committed multiple crimes. Illegal eviction, theft, fraud, property damage, all documented, all prosecutable. You can't prove your Facebook posts, moving into our son's beautiful home, Jessica's Instagram, guest room in my brother's house, Richard's text to family. We've reclaimed the property, all time-stamped, all saved, all evidence. Patricia sat down, actually sat down, legs giving out, face white, hands trembling. What do you want? I want you out. Today, now. All of you, every box, every item, every trace of your presence gone. We can't just. You can, you will, or I call the police, file charges, press every possible legal claim. You'll lose the house, your savings, everything. Bankrupt from legal fees, possibly jail time, your choice. She stared at me. This woman who'd called me not good enough at my wedding, who'd spent 6 years undermining my marriage, who'd evicted me 24 hours after my husband died. How long do we have? 24 hours, same courtesy you gave me, seems fair. This is cruel. This is justice. You tried to steal my home, my life, my husband's legacy. You failed. Now face the consequences. I walked past her, down the stairs, through the reception, past guests offering sympathy, past Jessica wearing my necklace, past Richard pretending to grieve. I found Maya. Call Jennifer Chen, attorney. Her card's in here. Tell her Amanda Walsh is ready to enforce the Daniel Walsh Living Trust. Tell her I need papers filed today. Eviction, restraining order, everything. You got them? I got them. Daniel protected me. Completely. And Patricia's finished. Maya grinned. Fucking finally, let's destroy her. We left. Drove to Maya's. Called Jennifer. She answered immediately. Amanda Walsh. Yes, Daniel's widow. I've been waiting for your call. I'm so sorry for your loss. Daniel was a good man, and he loved you very much. His family evicted me, changed the locks, moved into the house. I know. He predicted they would. That's why we created the trust. Are you ready to enforce it? Yes. Good. I'll file papers today. Eviction notice, restraining order, property seizure prevention, everything. They'll be served tomorrow morning. How fast can this move? Emergency hearing. 48 hours. Judge will see the trust documents, see their Facebook posts, see the illegal eviction. They'll be out by end of week. And criminal charges? That's your call. I can file, but it means police. Prosecutors? Potentially jail time for Patricia, Richard, and Jessica. I thought about it, about Patricia's face when she realized, about her sitting down, defeated, broken, about Daniel's letter. Fight them, Amanda. Fight for what's yours. File everything, civil and criminal. They tried to destroy me. They deserve everything coming to them. Understood. I'll have papers ready within an hour. Process server will deliver tomorrow at 8 a.m. Court hearing Wednesday. This will move fast. Thank you. Thank Daniel. He set this up perfectly. All I'm doing is executing his plan. I hung up, looked at Maya. Papers filed. Process server tomorrow morning? They're fucked. Good. They deserve it. That night, I read everything in the folder. Every document, every transfer, every legal protection Daniel had created. He'd transferred the house into the trust, all his accounts, his retirement fund, his stock options, his life insurance, everything made me sole beneficiary, irrevocable designation, cannot be changed, cannot be contested, cannot be broken, named Jennifer Chen as trustee, to ensure everything went to me, to protect against any attempt to steal, to fight on my behalf if needed. He'd thought of everything, every possible attack, every potential theft, every way his family might try to hurt me. And he'd built walls around all of it, legal walls, unbreakable walls. The life insurance alone was $500,000. I didn't even know he had it, but he did, and I was the beneficiary. The house was worth $400,000. The accounts had $70,000. The retirement fund had $200,000. The stocks were worth $80,000. Total, over $1 million. All protected, all mine, all transferred 3 years ago when he got diagnosed, when he knew his family would come for me. When he chose to protect me over them, I cried. Reading those papers, seeing his signatures, his choices, his love, he died knowing I'd be okay, knowing I'd be protected, knowing his family couldn't destroy me. That's love, real love, Not just words, but action, protection, preparation. 8 a.m. the next morning, Maya's phone rang. It's Jennifer. Process server just delivered papers to Patricia at the house. She's been served. Eviction notice, restraining order, civil lawsuit, criminal complaint. All of it. How'd she react? According to the server, she collapsed. Actual medical emergency. Ambulance came, took her to the hospital. Panic attack, apparently. Jesus. Richard and Jessica were served too at the house. Richard went pale. Jessica screamed, literal screaming. Server said it was intense. Do they have to leave? They have 48 hours. Then sheriff enforces eviction, with or without cooperation. 2 days later, I returned to the house. My house, with sheriff escort, Jennifer present, Maya as witness. Patricia answered the door, pale, shaking, defeated. We're packing. Good. I walked through my home. They'd already removed most of their things, boxes everywhere, furniture half moved, chaos. My wedding photos were back on the walls. My furniture returned, my belongings restored. We didn't know, Patricia said quietly, about the trust. We thought, we assumed. You assumed I was powerless, that you could steal everything, that I wouldn't fight back. We were grieving. We made mistakes. Mistakes? You changed the locks 24 hours after he died. Threw away our wedding photos. Tried to erase 6 years of marriage. That's not grief. That's cruelty. She had no response. Just looked down. Broken. Why? I asked. Why did you hate me so much? What did I ever do to you? You took my son. I loved your son. I married him. I took care of him. I was with him when he died. You weren't there, Patricia. You were in Arizona. I called you, begged you to come. You said you'd fly in tomorrow. He died that night, in my arms, not yours, mine. She started crying. I know. You missed his death because you thought you had time. Then you tried to punish me for being there, for being the one he chose, for being his wife. I'm sorry. No, you're not. You're sorry you got caught. Sorry Daniel protected me. Sorry you can't steal everything, but you're not sorry for trying. Richard appeared. Amanda, we're truly sorry. This got out of hand. We acted hastily. We'd like to make amends. Amends? You want to make amends? If possible, we recognize we made mistakes. Serious mistakes. We'd like to repair the relationship. There is no relationship. You're Daniel's parents, but you're not my family. You never were. And after this, you never will be. What about the criminal charges? Jessica asked, coming down the stairs. No necklace now. They'd returned everything, probably on lawyer's advice. What about them? Will you drop them? If we leave peacefully? If we apologize? I thought about it, about Daniel's letter. Fight them, Amanda, but also, I love you. That was his focus, not destroying them, loving me. I'll consider dropping criminal charges if you meet conditions. 1, you leave today, all of you, everything removed. 2, you never contact me again. No calls, no emails, no social media, nothing. 3, you publicly acknowledge your mistakes. Facebook post, admitting you illegally evicted me, admitting Daniel created the trust, admitting you were wrong. You want us to publicly humiliate ourselves? Patricia asked. I want the truth public. You've been telling everyone I stole from you, that I manipulated Daniel, that I'm not real family. I want the truth out there, that you tried to steal from me, that Daniel protected me, that you lost because you were greedy. That's cruel. That's fair. You humiliated me. You tried to destroy me. Now you face consequences. My terms or criminal charges. Your choice. They left that day, all of them, everything packed, everything removed. Patricia posted on Facebook, I need to make a public apology. After my son Daniel's death, I made terrible decisions. I illegally changed the locks on his home and evicted his widow, Amanda. I was wrong. Daniel had created a legal trust protecting Amanda. I ignored that. I acted out of grief and made inexcusable choices. I am deeply sorry to Amanda for the pain I caused. She deserves better. Daniel deserved better. The post got hundreds of comments, most supporting me, some defending Patricia, many shocked by her confession. I dropped the criminal charges, not because they deserved mercy, but because I was exhausted, because fighting them further wouldn't bring Daniel back, because I wanted peace. The house was mine again, quiet, empty, full of memories. I sold it 6 months later, too painful, too many ghosts. Daniel everywhere, bought a smaller place, fresh start, new memories. Used the life insurance to create the Daniel Walsh Foundation, supporting cancer research, family support services, legal aid for widows facing estate battles, helped 200 families in the first year, prevented evictions, funded lawyers, protected survivors, made Daniel's death mean something, made his love create lasting good. 5 years later, I met Marcus, another widower, another survivor, someone who understood grief, loss, the long road to healing. We took it slow, no rush, no pressure, just building something genuine. He asked about Daniel, about Patricia, about the eviction. I told him everything. She really tried to steal your house? She did, 24 hours after he died. That's evil. It was desperate, greedy, but I don't think evil. She'd spent her whole life defining herself through her son. When he died, she lost her identity, tried to reclaim it by taking his possessions, his home, his life. You're very generous. I've had 5 years to process, to heal, to forgive. Do you still talk to her? No, she died 2 years ago. Heart attack. Jessica called to tell me, asked if I'd come to the funeral. Did you? No. I sent flowers, white roses. Card said, "May you find peace." That was enough. No regrets. Plenty of regrets. I regret Daniel died. I regret his family were terrible people. I regret I had to fight them instead of grieve with them. But do I regret fighting back? No, never. They tried to destroy me. I survived. That's not something to regret. Marcus held my hand. You're incredibly strong. I'm a survivor. There's a difference. Strength is optional. Survival is mandatory. 10 years after Daniel's death, the foundation had helped over 1,000 families, prevented hundreds of evictions, funded dozens of lawyers, changed lives, made Daniel's love ripple outward, made his protection extend beyond just me. Patricia never apologized again after that Facebook post, never reached out, never tried to rebuild. She died bitter, angry, blaming me for everything. Richard lived another 8 years, died in a nursing home alone, no family present. Jessica struggled. Bankruptcy, divorce, lost her house, blamed me for that too. Somehow her eviction attempt from a decade ago had caused her current problems. She reached out once. Year 9. Can we talk? About what? Making peace, moving forward. I've moved forward. 10 years forward, you're welcome to do the same. I need help financially. I'm struggling. That's not my problem. You got everything, the house, the money, the foundation. I got nothing. You got exactly what you earned. You tried to steal from me. You lost. Those are consequences, not my responsibility to fix. You're cruel. I'm fair. Goodbye, Jessica. She never called again. The day after my husband died, his family kicked me out of the house. They thought I was powerless, vulnerable, easy to destroy. They were wrong. Daniel had protected me, given me every tool I needed to fight back, to survive, to thrive. And I used those tools. Not for revenge, but for justice, for survival, for the right to exist in the space he'd created for me. Patricia lost everything, not because I was cruel, but because she was greedy. Richard lost everything, not because I was vindictive, but because he enabled cruelty. Jessica lost everything, Not because I was heartless, but because she chose wrong. They made their choices, faced their consequences. That's not my cruelty, that's just life. And me, I survived. Built a foundation, found love again, created meaning from loss. That's the real ending. Not the eviction, not the lawsuit, not even the victory. The ending is this: love protected me, even after death, even against impossible odds. Daniel loved me enough to prepare, to plan, to build walls around everything we'd created together. That love saved me, not just financially, emotionally, spiritually, gave me the strength to fight, to survive, to build something beautiful from the wreckage. Patricia tried to destroy me. She failed. Daniel tried to protect me. He succeeded. And I tried to survive. I did more than survive. I flourished. That's the story, the whole story. The truth beyond the drama. Loss changes you, but you choose what it changes you into. I chose strength, justice, legacy. Patricia chose bitterness, greed, destruction. We both got what we chose, and I'm still here, still building, still growing, still protected by love that transcends death. That's worth more than any house, any money, any victory. That's everything. But the fight wasn't over. Not yet, because Patricia, even defeated, wasn't done trying. 3 days after the eviction, Jennifer called. We have a problem. What problem? Patricia hired a lawyer, expensive one. They're filing to contest the trust. But it's irrevocable. You said they couldn't contest. They can't win, but they can try. They're claiming undue influence. That you manipulated Daniel when he was sick. That he wasn't of sound mind when he created the trust. That's bullshit. He created it right after diagnosis, before treatment even started. He was completely lucid. I know, and we have medical records proving it. His oncologist documented cognitive function at every appointment. Daniel was sharp until the very end, but Patricia's lawyer is throwing everything at the wall, seeing what sticks. How long will this take? Months, maybe a year. They'll drag it out. Cost you money, stress, time. That's their strategy. Make it so painful you settle. I'm not settling. Good, because we'll win. But it won't be easy. She was right. It wasn't easy. The first hearing was brutal. Patricia's lawyer, a man named Thomas Sterling, $500 haircut, $1,000 suit, painted me as a predator. Your Honor, Mrs. Walsh isolated Mr. Walsh from his family, controlled his medical decisions, prevented family visits during his illness, and in his weakest moment, she manipulated him into signing away his entire estate. Lies, all lies, but delivered confidently. Professionally, Jennifer stood. Your Honor, Mr. Walsh created this trust 3 years before his death. Medical records show he was cognitively sound. His oncologist, Dr. Sarah Chen, documented no mental impairment. And Mrs. Walsh encouraged family visits. The Walshes declined. Phone records prove Mrs. Walsh called them weekly with updates. They rarely answered. The defendant claims my client encouraged visits, Sterling countered. But Mrs. Walsh controlled all access. She decided when the family could visit, how long they could stay, what they could discuss. That's isolation, control, manipulation. I was protecting my husband from stress, I said. Too loud, too emotional. Jennifer touched my arm, calming me. The judge reviewed documents, medical records, phone logs, trust papers. The trust appears valid. Created when Mr. Walsh was demonstrably competent. I'm not dismissing this case yet, but Mr. Sterling, you'll need substantially more evidence of undue influence. Reconvene in 60 days. 60 more days of this. 60 more days of Patricia's lawyer calling me a manipulator, a gold digger, a thief. Outside the courtroom, Patricia approached me. You don't have to do this. We can settle. Split the assets. Everyone gets something. You want me to give you half of what Daniel specifically protected from you? It's fair. We're his family. I'm his family. I'm his widow. I'm the person he chose to spend his life with, the person he chose to protect. You're the people he specifically cut out because he knew you'd do exactly this. Amanda, please. We're struggling. Richard lost his job. Jessica's going through a divorce. We need help. You need help because you spent thousands on a lawyer to contest an irrevocable trust instead of accepting reality. We had to try. No, you chose to try. You chose to fight instead of grieve. You chose greed over family. Those are your choices. Live with them. I walked away, got in Maya's car, started crying. You okay? Maya asked. They're dragging this out, making me relive Daniel's death, making me defend our relationship, our love, like it was fake, like I was using him. They're desperate. That's all this is. Desperate people doing desperate things. I'm so tired, Maya, so fucking tired of fighting. Then settle, give them something. Make it stop. I thought about it, really thought. Half the assets, that's what Patricia wanted. $500,000 to people who'd evicted me, who'd tried to steal everything. No, Daniel didn't want them to have it. He was explicit. He protected me from them. Giving them money would betray that protection. Then we fight. As long as it takes, we fight. The next hearing was worse. Sterling brought witnesses, people who claimed I'd isolated Daniel, controlled him, manipulated him. An old co-worker of Daniel's. She didn't want him going out with the guys. Always had an excuse, work, errands, appointments. He stopped coming to poker night, stopped joining us for drinks. We lost touch. Lie. Daniel stopped going because he had cancer, because he was tired, because chemotherapy destroyed his energy. Not because I stopped him. A neighbor. I never saw his family visit, just Amanda, very controlling. He seemed diminished, like he'd lost himself. Lie. Patricia visited twice in 6 years. Richard came once. Jessica never came. They didn't want to visit. Too busy. Too far. Too uncomfortable with illness. Daniel's former girlfriend from college. He told me Amanda was jealous, possessive, didn't like him talking to other women, even old friends. Lie. We'd met this woman once. She'd been drunk, hit on Daniel. I'd asked her to leave. That became jealousy in her retelling. Jennifer cross-examined each witness, destroyed their credibility, showed phone records proving Daniel invited them to visit, showed emails where they declined, showed texts where Daniel explicitly said, Amanda's been amazing, so supportive, I'm lucky. But damage was done, doubt planted, the narrative growing, Amanda the manipulator, the gold digger, the woman who stole a dying man's fortune. I wanted to scream, to fight, to show them who I really was. But I just sat there, silent, letting Jennifer handle it. Your Honor, Jennifer said during closing arguments, the opposition has presented a parade of character witnesses, all sharing vague impressions, feelings, interpretations. Not one has provided concrete evidence of manipulation. Not one can explain how Mrs. Walsh manipulated Mr. Walsh into creating a trust 3 years before his death when their relationship was stable and happy. Not one can explain why Mr. Walsh never modified the trust if he was supposedly under her control. The truth is simple. Mr. Walsh loved his wife. He knew his family, and he protected her from them. The truth, Sterling countered, is that Mrs. Walsh saw a wealthy man with terminal cancer and secured her future. She isolated him from family who might have questioned the trust. She controlled his final years, and now she's reaping the benefits. That's not love. That's opportunism. The judge took 2 weeks to decide. 2 weeks of waiting, worrying, imagining worst-case scenarios. What if the judge believed them? What if she ruled against me? What if I lost everything? The ruling came by mail, official court document, dense legal language. Bottom line, trust stands. No evidence of undue influence. Case dismissed with prejudice. Patricia's claims rejected entirely. We won, I called Maya. We won, complete victory, trust upheld, case dismissed. Oh, thank God. Are you okay? I'm, I don't know what I am, relieved, exhausted, angry that I had to fight this hard for what Daniel already gave me. But you won. That's what matters. Did I? Patricia made me defend my relationship, my love, my marriage to strangers, in court, on record. That doesn't feel like winning. It's not about feeling, it's about facts. You have the house, the money, the foundation. Patricia has nothing. You won. Factually, Maya was right, but emotionally, I felt destroyed. The fight had cost me, too. Not just money, though. Legal fees were substantial, but energy, mental health, peace. I started therapy twice a week, processing grief, trauma, the eviction, the trial, all of it. You've been through an extraordinary violation, my therapist said. Losing your husband, being evicted, fighting his family. That's cumulative trauma. It's okay to not be okay. I should be happy I won. I have everything. You have material security. But you lost emotional security. Your husband, your home, even though you got it back, it's tainted now. Your relationship with his family. Those losses are real. Money doesn't fix them. So what do? You grieve. All of it. The death, the betrayal, the fight. You feel it. You process it. You heal. Slowly. I did. Slowly. Painfully. But I did. A year after the trial ended, I finally felt stable. Not healed, but stable. The foundation was growing, helping families, making a difference. I'd started dating. Nothing serious. Just testing waters. Seeing if I could connect with someone new. And then Patricia called. From a number I didn't have blocked. Amanda, it's Patricia. Please don't hang up. I should have, but I didn't. Curiosity won. What do you want? I'm dying. Pancreatic cancer, stage 4, maybe 6 months. I'm sorry to hear that. Are you? After everything I did to you? I don't wish cancer on anyone, even you. Silence. Then, I need to apologize. Really apologize. Not the Facebook post my lawyer made me write. A real apology. Okay, I'm listening. I was wrong about everything. You didn't manipulate Daniel. Didn't steal from him. Didn't isolate him. He loved you. Genuinely loved you. And I couldn't accept it. Why not? Because you weren't what I'd planned. I had this vision of who Daniel would marry. Someone from our social circle, someone wealthy, connected, someone who'd elevate our family. You were just normal, middle class, no connections, no prestige. And I resented that Daniel chose you over my vision. So you spent 6 years trying to undermine our marriage. I did. I made every gathering miserable, every holiday tense. I criticized you constantly. And when Daniel got sick, when he needed family support most, I was horrible. Told him he should have married someone who could afford better care, someone with connections to top doctors. Made his illness about my disappointment in his choices. Jesus Christ, Patricia. I know, I was terrible, and when he died, instead of supporting you, his widow, the woman he loved, I tried to steal everything because I was angry. Angry he'd chosen you. Angry he'd protected you from me. Angry I'd lost control of my son years ago and never got it back. That's a lot to admit. I'm dying. What's the point of lying now? I want you to know you were a good wife. Daniel was lucky to have you, and I'm sorry I made your life hell. I didn't know what to say. This apology, real, painful, honest, was more than I'd expected, more than I'd thought possible. Thank you for saying that. Can I ask one thing? What? Can I see you before I die? One last time, just to, I don't know, make peace, end this properly. I thought about it. About 6 years of cruelty. About the eviction. About the trial. about everything she'd done and about Daniel's letter. I love you. That was his focus. Not revenge, love. Okay, I'll visit. Once, we'll talk, clear the air, then we're done. Thank you, Amanda, truly. Thank you. I visited her 2 weeks later. She was in hospice, pale, thin, dying. You came, she said, surprised. I said I would. I didn't think you would actually do it. I keep my word. Unlike some people, she smiled. Weak, sad. Fair. We talked for an hour about Daniel, about their relationship, about her regrets. I was a terrible mother-in-law, she said. Probably a terrible mother, too. I wanted control more than connection, perfection more than love. I pushed Daniel away. He tried to include me, tried to make me part of his life with you. I rejected it. Rejected you? And I lost him years before he died. He still loved you. Even at the end, he talked about you, wanted you to visit. You just never came. I couldn't see him sick, couldn't accept he was dying. So I avoided it, stayed in Arizona, made excuses, and I missed his last months, last weeks, last moments, because I was a coward. Why are you telling me this? Because you deserve to know. You were there. You did what I couldn't. You loved him through the hardest part. You deserve to know that I see that now. I'm grateful you were there, even though I hate that it was you and not me. That's my failure, not yours. I left that conversation feeling lighter, not forgiven, not reconciled, but lighter. Patricia died 3 months later. Peaceful death. Richard was there. Jessica, too. I sent flowers, white roses. Card, may you finally find peace. I didn't attend the funeral, wasn't invited, didn't expect to be, but Jessica called after. Thank you for visiting her, for letting her apologize. It meant everything to her. She needed to say it. I needed to hear it. We're even now. Are we even? No, you and I aren't even. You tried to steal my jewelry. You participated in the eviction. You testified against me in court. We're not even. But we can be done. No more contact, no more conflict, just done. That's fair. I'm sorry, Amanda, for all of it. I was greedy, stupid, wrong. Apology noted. Goodbye, Jessica. I hung up, blocked her number. Final closure. Richard died 2 years later, heart attack. Quick, I sent flowers. Nothing more. The foundation grew. 5 years after Daniel's death, we'd helped 800 families, prevented hundreds of evictions, changed lives. I met Marcus, widower, kind, understanding. We built something real, something based on mutual respect, not control, not ownership, partnership. We married, small ceremony, close friends, no family drama, just love. And sometimes late at night, I thought about Patricia, about her deathbed apology, about her admission that Daniel had loved me, that I'd been a good wife. It didn't erase the pain, didn't undo the eviction, didn't make the trial easier, but it helped. Knowing she'd seen the truth before she died, knowing she'd acknowledged her mistakes, knowing she'd died with regrets, not just anger, that felt like closure, real closure. 10 years after Daniel's death, I stood at his grave. First time in years. Marcus came with me. You okay? He asked. Yeah, just thinking about everything. The fight, the foundation, the life I built from the wreckage. Any regrets? So many. I regret Daniel died. I regret his family were terrible. I regret I had to fight instead of grieve. But do I regret fighting? No, he protected me. I honored that protection. That's not something to regret. He'd be proud of the foundation, of what you built. I hope so. I think so. He wanted his death to mean something. The foundation makes it mean something. We stood there, silent, respectful, grateful, and I realized I'd won. Not just the legal battle, not just the house, not just the money. I'd won life. Real life, built from loss, shaped by pain, but still beautiful. Patricia had died bitter, angry, full of regrets. I was living grateful, peaceful, full of purpose. That's the real victory. Not the court ruling, not the inheritance, not even the foundation. The victory is choosing to build instead of destroy, to grow instead of wither, to love instead of hate. Daniel's love protected me in death, and that protection became the foundation, literally and figuratively, for everything I built after. Patricia tried to destroy me. She failed. Daniel tried to protect me. He succeeded beyond measure, and I tried to survive. I did more than survive. I thrived, I built, I gave, I loved again. That's the whole story, the real story, the truth beyond the drama. Loss changes you, but you choose what it changes you into. I chose life, purpose, legacy. Patricia chose death, bitterness, regret. We both got what we chose, and I'm still here, still building, still growing, still protected by love that transcends even death. That's worth more than any house, any money, any legal victory. That's everything. But there's one more part to this story, one more piece that matters. The foundation didn't just help strangers, it helped me. Every family I helped protect, every widow I saved from eviction healed something in me. Made the fight with Patricia mean something. Made Daniel's protection ripple outward. One woman, Catherine, reached out 2 years after I started the foundation. My husband died last month. His brother showed up 3 days later, changed the locks, said the house was family property, said I had no rights. Your foundation's website saved me. I called the lawyer you recommended, filed restraining order, got my house back. Thank you. You saved my life. I cried reading that email, because that was the point. That was why Daniel created the trust, why I fought Patricia, why I built the foundation to save lives, to protect people, to make sure Patricia's cruelty didn't happen to anyone else. Another widow, Maria, came to speak at our annual fundraiser. 5 years ago, my in-laws tried to steal everything. My house, my savings, my late husband's pension. They said I wasn't real family. That blood mattered more than marriage. The Daniel Walsh Foundation gave me a lawyer, helped me fight, I won, kept everything, and now I volunteer here, helping other widows, paying it forward. That became our model. Widows helping widows, survivors helping survivors. Pain transformed into protection. Marcus joined the board 3 years after we married. I want to help. This work matters. You matter. Let me contribute. Together we expanded, created satellite offices, hired more lawyers, helped more families. 10 years after Daniel's death, the foundation had helped 2,000 families, prevented over 500 evictions, provided free legal services to countless widows and widowers, made Daniel's name synonymous with protection, legacy, love. That's what mattered. Not the money, not the house, not even the victory over Patricia. What mattered was transformation, taking the worst moment of my life, Daniel's death and Patricia's betrayal, and creating something beautiful, something helpful, something lasting. I spoke at legal conferences, told the story, educated lawyers about estate protection, about trusts, about preparing for the worst. My husband knew his family, knew they'd try to steal everything when he died. So he prepared, created an irrevocable trust, transferred all assets, made me sole beneficiary. It saved my life, literally. Without that protection, I'd have lost everything, been homeless, penniless, destroyed by grief and greed. Instead, I built a foundation, helped thousands. That's the power of preparation, of protection, of love that plans ahead. Lawyers listened, took notes, started creating similar trusts for their clients, protecting spouses, preventing battles. Every trust created because of our story was another victory. Another family saved, another widow protected. Patricia's betrayal had inadvertently created a movement, a shift in how estates were planned, how families prepared for death. Her cruelty became the catalyst for protecting thousands of others. That's irony, beautiful, painful irony. 15 years after Daniel's death, I returned to the house. Not my house anymore. I'd sold it years ago, but I drove past, looked at it, remembered. New owners had painted it, changed the landscaping, made it theirs. And I felt nothing. No attachment, no pain, no loss, just memories. Good ones. Daniel and me, happy, in love, building a life. Patricia's eviction was just a footnote, a moment, not the defining story. The defining story was Daniel's love, his protection, his trust that I'd survive, and I had, more than survived, built something he'd be proud of. I drove to the cemetery, first time in 5 years, stood at his grave. Hey, Daniel, it's me, Amanda, your wife. I know it's been a while. Life got busy. The foundation's grown. We've helped over 2,000 families now. Can you believe that? Your protection of me protected thousands of others. That's your legacy. Not the trust, not the money, the ripple effect. Love spreading outward. I knelt down, touched the headstone. Patricia's gone. Died 10 years ago. She apologized before she died. Said I was a good wife. Said you were lucky to have me. I think she finally understood. Too late, but she understood. Richard's gone too. Heart attack. Quick. Jessica's struggling. Divorce. Bankruptcy. The usual consequences of bad choices. But I don't hate them anymore. Don't even think about them much. They're just people who made mistakes. People who paid for them. I'm married again. Marcus, you'd like him. He's kind, patient, understands grief. We built something real together, something based on partnership, not control, not ownership, just love, like we had. I miss you. Every day I miss you. But I'm okay. Better than okay. I'm happy. The foundation makes me happy. Helping people makes me happy. Marcus makes me happy. Life makes me happy. Thank you for protecting me, for loving me, for trusting me to carry forward. I did, I am, I will. I stood up, wiped tears, smiled, and I felt him. Not literally, but spiritually. His presence, his love, his pride. He'd done what he set out to do. Protected me, given me tools to survive, to thrive. And I'd honored that gift. Built something worthy of it. Spread his love to thousands. That's the real ending, the true ending, the only ending that matters. Not revenge, not justice, not even victory, but transformation. Love multiplying, pain becoming purpose. Daniel died, but his love didn't. It transformed through me, through the trust, through the foundation, through every family helped, every widow protected, every life changed. Patricia tried to kill that love by stealing, by evicting, by fighting. She failed. Love doesn't die when you try to steal it. It multiplies when you try to share it. And I've spent 15 years sharing, building, loving, living. That's Daniel's legacy. That's my victory. That's our story. Love wins always, even against death, even against greed, even against impossible odds. Love protected me, and I protected thousands with that same love. That's the whole truth, the complete story, the real ending. The day after my husband died, his family kicked me out of the house. And that was their biggest mistake. Not because I destroyed them, though I did, but because their cruelty became the catalyst for something beautiful, something protective, something loving, the Daniel Walsh Foundation, 2,000 families protected, 2,000 widows who didn't face what I faced, 2,000 lives changed by love that wouldn't die. That's worth more than revenge, more than money, more than any legal victory. That's everything, and that's how love wins, not by fighting hate, but by multiplying itself until hate becomes irrelevant. Patricia's hate didn't destroy me. Daniel's love protected me, and I used that protection to love thousands more. That's the true story, the real ending, the only thing that matters. Love multiplied, hate defeated, life lived fully.